Fans and friends of minor league esports, welcome back to the third and final series of the night. We just welcomed two brand new teams to the grand finals. We now move it down to Academy League, but it's still going to be fantastic and exciting. Again, this stream is sponsored by APM Music. I'm your host, Pandy, with me, the one and only Maple. How you doing, man?
Man, I am so good. What, like, the Comets absolutely blew the Bears away, winning 4-0 in the last series. But now we're going down to Academy League with the Dodgers and Tyrants. And, man, I'm excited. That's what I am. I'm so excited.
Yeah, always has to be here, as we have got to keep the energy high up as we have, again, one more matchup on the night. We're going to keep the spirits high and the energy high for the Dodgers and the Tyrants here in Academy League. We go to standard this time instead of doubles. The last two have been doubles, so a bit of a change of pace. It's going to be pretty fast paced, pretty exciting nonetheless, as both these teams looking to make a grand final. The Tyrants coming in at your 1 seed, the Dodgers at the 5 seed. Both teams seen a lot of success in this season, Maple, but again, it comes down to 7 games.
It really does come down to these 7 games, and regardless of what's happening in the season, almost all of that is wiped out. Interestingly enough, the Tyrants are bringing Brad McSnackwrap, who has a great name, Nim, and Sneak, and they're going to be up against Ski, Toasty McRoasty, and Walsh. And I think we're going to see a very exciting game, and as the players begin to join the field, my friend, we're going to see 2 behemoths go at it. Let's see who wins.
It's like you said, everything up to this point, all 13 weeks from the draft to today, nothing matters. It comes down to a best of 7 to determine who makes the grand finals. 5 minutes on the clock to begin another banger of a series to finish off the night. We go to AL3's Dodgers and Tyrants. Here we go.
Nim moving with the ball with a little bit of purpose, but Toasty able to get that out. Sneak is there, but gets demoed for his thoughts and his troubles. Toasty McRoasty able to put that back into his corner, but Nim back on the ball, and the Tyrants are definitely here on the attack right now. Sneak puts the ball off the corner. Oh, and a miss by Brad, which looked like it could actually go in. Nim's going to come off the wall. Unfortunately, ball goes under him, and Toasty McRoasty able to get that out. And the first goal scored by Ski.
You see there, the Dodgers were just trying to work this ball to the midfield. The Tyrants were just really trying to move this ball as efficiently as possible. As they, I mean, like you said, Maple, as soon as that kickoff began, the Tyrants were on attack, and the Dodgers was trying to find that outlet. And credit to Ski for making that happen, recognizing that net was wide open, dead center, middle of the field. The Dodgers start the game with a lead. Definitely the momentum they need against this really hot 1 seed Tyrants.
They certainly do, and something to be said for having a little bit of patience. Speaking of which, Brad McSnackwrap has a good 50 with Ski, but Toasty brings that ball in, and Nim going to follow it into the corner, up the wall a little bit. Good touch. Pass out to middle, but none of the Tyrants there. Dodgers touch that ball, but Brad McSnackwrap puts a pass out. Toasty, though, making sure that doesn't go into the net. So we're back onto the Tyrants side again. Sneak up the wall. Walsh, though, real good touch, and Ski's got that ball. Still on the attack. And another goal. This time, Toasty McRoasty puts it in. 2-0 for the Dodgers.
Gotta credit this one to Ski here. You see them just trying to get as physical as they can, trying to get this ball to the midfield. They did just that. They recognized the communications were on point for the Dodgers offensive attackers there. As Toasty McRoasty, right place, right time. Great communications for the Dodgers. And the 1 seed Tyrants are off. In this game, they're on their back foot to start.
They are on the back foot. I couldn't agree more with that. And another goal puts them even further into that, with Walsh getting in on the scoring, in 1 each so far for the Dodgers.
That's great recognition there from Walsh. That last defender for the Tyrants was just cheating up a bit too far. I think that last defender for the Tyrants really thought that touch was going to be made, or at least a 50 was going to be withheld on the right side of the field. And I think that kind of missed touch there kind of kept them out of rotation with that net there. But great, again, good capitalization from the Dodgers to keep this ball in contention and keep this game in favor of the Dodgers. 3-0 commanding start for the Dodgers. The Tyrants looking for an answer. We saw before that first goal was scored, the possession was all in favor of the Tyrants. They're looking to try and get that back here, but the ball movement so far for the Dodgers has been really calm, really cool, and ultimately really collected.
Yeah, I feel like the Dodgers are actually trying to keep it fairly simple. They're not trying to overcomplicate things. They're not trying to do anything super fancy, and it's working for them. Now, not to say that the Tyrants are being crazy or anything like that, but once in a while, the Tyrants are bunching up with each other. I'll notice that two of the players will be in relatively the same position, and they are getting punished when that tends to happen.
There's Walsh, back rotation. It's me, Nim, trying to intercept to get an offensive attack going for the Tyrants. Demo coming out from Ski to diffuse some pressure. Brad Mixnack-Rap trying to just hold this ball in a possession, but it seems like the Dodgers with those diffusing touches are just able to just intercept and keep this ball out of the Tyrants' half. They're trying to get flashy with it. There's Sneak. Send that one right by the post across the net. Toasty McRoasty going to try and set up a counterattack for the Dodgers. Who've been successful thus far, but Sneak stands tall on the bottom post there in the net, is able to keep it out of the net. Another chance for Ski. The Dodgers still with those backput touches, just continuing to punish the Tyrants for trying to play aggressive and trying to keep this ball out of their half.
Well, the Tyrants have been really on their back foot, as you've indicated, for pretty much the whole match, since probably about the first 30 seconds when they seem to have control. And since then, I mean, it's easy for the Dodgers, let's be honest, when they're up 3-0 with only about 1:20 left in the game. It's fairly easy for them to say, you know what, we're just going to keep pushing, because even if they get scored on, one is not that big of a deal. Man, Walsh again with a post, and 3 times now the Dodgers in about the last 45 seconds have hit that post. Man, the Dodgers just the Dodgers are just continuing to push, and Walsh gets the 4th goal for them with 60 seconds left. I don't see 4 goals happening for the Tyrants.
Yeah, I feel like these touches for the Tyrants defense have just been really loose this entire game so far. I think there's some ping issues going on for them, but ultimately that's just kind of how the game goes. And again, it's just up to the Dodgers to take advantage of anything they can. Kickoff goes in their favor, make it 5 for them, and they are absolutely on fire.
Oh, are they ever on fire? And a great kickoff here by Toasty McRoasty, able to just kill that ball, and Walsh makes no mistake coming in from the center line, putting that into the net with, again, now 5-0. A 1 goal every 11 seconds is so unlikely. I just don't see it happening. But it doesn't mean the Tyrants are done. If they can get a little bit of confidence, maybe a goal, maybe 2, or they can at least have some really good defensive saves or something like that. But you know what? What do I know? Ski decides that it's time to put another one in off of kind of a poor touch from Nick.
Yeah, I think the Dodgers just came ready to play in this one, to be honest. I mean, look at the shot totals. I mean, it is 12 shots in favor of the Dodgers, half of which had made it into the net, and the Tyrants only with 3, and I think 2 of those came out in the first 30 seconds when we saw that really, really loud stint of pressure to start the game. But since that first goal for the Dodgers, it has been all the team in white for the rest of this entire game. 6-0 is a pretty big margin, and that is nothing short of like really important as far as momentum goes to start this series. This is a best of 7 though, still a lot of time. The Tyrants are they're not the 1 seed for nothing. They are obviously proven throughout the first 10 weeks of this season that they are the 1 seed that they deserve to be, but I just haven't quite seen it yet in this first game.
Yeah, like for a 1 seed, I'm surprised with the play that we're seeing, I suppose. But you know what? The Tyrants only have 4 players on their roster. The only player not here is Jelly. So you've got 2 12-5s and an 11. So some very good players, a lot of experience. Like you say, it's only game number 1, so there's still lots of time left to play. But wow, so far the dominant play of the Dodgers is absolutely winning the day, with Walsh leading 750 points and Ski and Toasty basically making up 700 points between the 2 of them.
Yeah, and that goal participation as well. 4 assists on those 6 goals. That's so important in threes, is just trying to formulate those plays that are just really hard to stop for the Tyrants. And ultimately, I feel like a lot of the Tyrants rotations were just really touch and go. There were a lot of one-off rotations that the Dodgers were just kind of like a cloud floating into the offensive zone, they're just refusing to give up. They're finding those back rotations in the midfield, is able to just punch the ball further and further deeper into the Tyrants defensive zone, and the Tyrants just couldn't really find an answer to that. It seems like once the ball crossed into their defensive half, it just didn't really seem to get out, and it just ended up in a goal every time. But that's game one. It's pretty early. The Dodgers may have had just a better warm-up. They may have had a team scrim them that challenged them a lot. It just, so many things can happen in game one, but ultimately the momentum, very, very importantly, is massively in favor of the Dodgers with a 6-0 win. That's really tough to lose in that first game.
It really is. That's a statement that got made. But you know what? Game 2 is here. Everything gets wiped clean except for the fact that the Dodgers are up by 1, and it's a new game for the Tyrants to try and make a difference.
Will they show us why they are the 1 seed? The Dodgers just trying to continue this pressure they have built up. I think it's kind of a shell shock moment if you're the Tyrants. You're like, wow, we didn't really expect this, but man, what a flick from Toasty McRoasty, continuing the pressure from game 1, already 12 seconds in.
Yeah, Brad McSnack unfortunately just missing a bump there, and Toasty able to capitalize on the fact that he's got some good momentum. Beautiful goal.
That is what the Dodgers need right there. And I think the mindset coming into tonight for them was, we are obviously not the higher seed into this one. The record separated by several games between these two teams, but we are going to come out and play as quickly as possible and surprise these guys. They have done just that with 7 unanswered goals. And to start this series, the Tyrants, absolutely no answer in sight. Toasty trying to make it 2 in this one. It's denied on the backboard by Brad. Just trying to find some sort of outlet. Clear for the Tyrants here. Walsh, another chance. No boost. Going to be forced to turn back. Another big 50, though, to the side. Walsh going to give Toasty another chance. Another crack at the bat. Another one from Walsh. Just sneaking in behind the rotation. The defenders for the Tyrants caught with no guide. And it'll be 2 for the Dodgers.
Yeah, the Dodgers did a fantastic job here, just applying pressure, right? And I think that the Tyrants maybe are panicking a little bit. They're just not quite they're not playing to the way that I would expect them to play. They've got some excellent players. So you know what? Look, we're early on. You said it in the last game. It's a best of 7. I'm curious to see how this goes, but for now, the Dodgers have not let off at all. They're the same team that we saw in game 1. And you know what? Whatever recipe they're cooking with, it's working really, really well.
Yeah, you see that ball movement there in the offensive zone for the Dodgers has been really, really good. You see, I believe that was Walsh on offense, just trying to dump that ball down off the crossbar to find a teammate. It's just, there's an answer to every touch that the Dodgers are making, that being another one. Unfortunately, it seems like we're still having some issues as far as the Tyrants connection, but Dodgers, again, will take it and run away. It'll be 3 for the Dodgers.
You know, one of the things that I find interesting, actually, that's unfortunate here, is that the Tyrants are actually down a player. So we had Nim and Sneak that are left here. So they are down a player, which I'm sure is going to make everything a little bit difficult for them right now. Hopefully their player can get reconnected and then join back into the game here. But for now, the Dodgers doing what they need to do, which is scoring some goals. That's very important. They just need to... they just need to keep it up. They don't want to lose any sort of momentum or anything like that.
Yeah, and it's just kind of unfortunate, especially this late in the season. When your season comes down to a series as important as this, you never want to run into issues like that. And whether you're a fan of the Dodgers or you're a fan of the Tyrants, it's not anything you ever want to see. But we may have them back now. Hopefully, we can continue the series on as if they were still here. But as the rules go, once you do join the match back, you have to wait until there is a goal replay. My goodness, what an angle from Toasty to make it 5-0 Dodgers.
Yeah, 5-0 for the Dodgers. 3 minutes left, though. There's lots of time. And Brad McSnack is back. He's joined the game again. So you know what? I'm hoping that this means that maybe the Tyrants can go, okay, we're going to recollect, and now we're going to start pushing again. Hopefully Brad's connection is maybe better than it was before, and we're able to see, some more play.
Gosh.
Wow. Just, man, oh man, the Dodgers are there every time they need to be.
Yeah, Toasty just showing the speed there off the backboard. My goodness, the Dodgers absolutely on fire. That makes 12 unanswered goals for this team, and White there absolutely on fire. You cannot ask for a better start to the series.
Yeah, there's no way that you can ask for a better start, and you wouldn't want to. You're absolutely right, though. Look at this again, Toasty. Oh, Toasty puts it in off of Brad McSnackrap, and like it just continues. Honestly, the good luck, the good play continues, and unfortunately the Tyrants are there right now, tail between their legs, and I hope for the Tyrants that they can work their way out of this, because it never feels good, right? And mentally, it is hard sometimes to recuperate from something like this.
Yeah, it's very tough on the mental when you are in a type of situation like this. But I mean, now you have 3 players back on the field. This game, you just kind of have to let it go. As tough as it is, you just kind of have to say this is a go next situation. You got 2.5 minutes to kill. You have 2.5 minutes just to talk it over. I mean, also, a comeback technically is possible, but there isn't really anything stopping the Dodgers from continuing these this flurry of shots that you see there. And again, there's Brad trying to find at least something. Slow roller back the other way, not quite going to make its way in the net, but you see it's a really tough thing on the mental. Like you said, you just kind of have to figure out how to stop the bleeding. It seems like they finally starting to figure some things out here, but you kind of just let this one go. Now you got to win 4 games out of 6. Tough situation, but still possible. They're still the 1 seed for a reason.
Absolutely they are. You know what? And that's right. You know, you've said that before, and you're absolutely right with that. I just hope that, the Tyrants are able to kind of pick it back up after this game, maybe take the full minute or so that you've got in between games, and just take a breath, get up, walk, take a drink of water, whatever you need, and then get back at it. Make sure you're communicating well, because I know when you're playing like this, it's very easy to stop calming and to just hit the ball. And unfortunately, the Tyrants were seeing that a little bit too.
Yeah, it's way too easy just to say, oh, well, let's just try and get ourselves back in it here and try and restart. But I mean, at this point, you got some ping issues. It's unfortunate to see, but at the same time, you got a team of 3 Dodgers that are just staring you right in the face like a bull, just saying, we are not giving up anytime soon. That's another from Wash from the right side. 2 players over 700 score with still a minute to go.
And 14 unanswered goals now.
Yeah.
That is huge. I mean, look, the reality is they're not going to overcome this, right? The Tyrants are not going to come back from this. But what they can do is see if they can kind of scrape a game together, see if they can do something to, get a goal, get some good passes, stop the bleeding at least, maybe get a couple of big saves, and that helps build some confidence. And you can work with that, right? It is possible.
Yeah, and it just comes down to at this point, your big focus is on the next, I'd say, about 2 minutes before this 3rd game begins, is what you're going to do. Do you bring in a substitute player? Do you try to give the internet some time? You never want to blame it on that, but unfortunately in this case, you kind of have to consider that at some point. But you just have to figure out at what point do we just kind of have to start adding up the things that have gone wrong. And unfortunately for the Tyrants, it has been pretty much everything in this one. The Dodgers still again rolling, will hit double digits in game 2 here. Again, all eyes are on game 3.
Yeah, I mean, we're already looking forward to game 3. So tell me, what do you think the Tyrants need to do in order to pick it back up and turn things around?
Forget the first 2 games. That is the first order on the list, is you have to just forget that these first 2 games even occurred. Forget that they even happened. I mean, if you even think that we just gave up 17 goals to start the series in a row without even scoring, or in this case, even registering 1 shot in game 2, it's just not going to help you at any point later in the series. A 10-0 loss after a 6-0 loss is kind of unreal. It's not anything you really see very often, especially in a conference final against a 1-seed team. So the Tyrants are really going to need everything. They're going to have to throw everything down on the table at this point. So they're going to have to win 4 out of 6 to even have a chance here.
Yeah, you know what? The Tyrants are not completely down and out. No. I do hope that Brad can get his comm issues figured out, and nope, looks like Jelly is actually going to join the game, so they are going to sub in a player here. I think that's a good move. New player, new dynamic to the game, and that's nothing to say with Brad. I feel terrible for Brad because you are in a conference final. It is extremely important that you can rely on your internet and have that good ping and play at your best. And obviously that's not possible for Brad, and I'm sure that's impacting, Nim and Sneak as well. So I hope Jelly can help bring some of that together and they can cobble together a win. I think, getting back to basics is going to be really important. We talked about how the Dodgers are playing now. They definitely are playing a lot more flashy now. We're seeing a lot more aerial attempts and a lot more things like that, which, when you're leading in double digits, that's just fine for you to do. So yeah, we'll see. I'm hoping that the Tyrants can kind of get back to basics, get to challenging that ball, get there first. I think that's going to be a huge key here as we proceed into game number 3.
Yeah, and I think definitely the task at hand now is just to not look at the overall picture of the mountain you have to climb, but the next step at this point is just trying to take games at a time. You see Jelly trying to just change the pace here for this Tyrants team, trying to get themselves mentally and physically back in it on the scoreboard. You see Ski there back to the right side. New fresh set of games, new zeros on the scoreboard. Walsh trying to make it 1 for the Dodgers, but the denial and net from the sub. Jelly is going to keep them tied at 0 for the time being. The Tyrants already with some fresh signs of life here to start this third game. Sidewall for Nim. Ski with a little bump. Touch past 1 for Sneak is going to find Ski in the corner. Another dangerous touch. There it is. Almost able to net a goal. And the Tyrants already starting this game with some pressure.
Yeah, the Tyrants are looking so much better. Now, what's good for the Dodgers is that they have certainly been equal to the task in we haven't had to see them play any real defense since about the first 30 seconds of this series. But well done so far for the Tyrants. I really hope that they can keep this up, because that means that we've definitely got some excitement coming. Nice try by Jelly there to put the ball on net. Sneak is going to try and get it in there, but not quite able. But Jelly keeping it in. Nim keeps it in the other end, but Walsh is then able to clear it out. Here we are with the Tyrants definitely looking better than they have in the last couple of games.
Able to keep the Dodgers pretty quiet so far. Still 4 registered shots for the team in white. Tyrants still just trying to get themselves mentally back in it here. Jelly sidewall maybe has a man to the midfield. Will cut it back to Sneak, but high rotation for Sneak will be forcing them back to try and stop this pressure that the Dodgers will present on the counterattack. Ski, that is. Out of the corner, maybe has a man. Toasty McRoasty to the midfield, but Sneak there for the clear to the right side. Walsh again. Nim dump and chase downfield. Jelly did it to follow it. Crossbar denial. Another clear for the Dodgers. Sneak to put back into the backboard. Another chance for the Tyrants. Still looking fresher here in this third game. Definitely the mentals seem to have been reset because we're still scoreless.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is the longest we've gone in the game without a score. Now, that's not to say that there hasn't been some good opportunities, but you know what? The Tyrants are looking good. I think Jelly might be what they needed in just allowing something to happen. Sneak up off the backboard. He's up for it. Is he going to get the double? No, he's not. Nim off the backboard again, but nobody there as Jelly's way back in his end grabbing boost. And you know what? If you want to win, you need to get used to not having to go all the way back for boost and just grabbing pads instead.
Yeah, that's how you keep up pressure. That's how you keep the ball in, and the boost, and the defenders hungry, looking for boost. It's just coming down to how well you can retain this pressure, because as soon as you're going to open that door to the Dodgers, they're just going to take it and slam it open, and they're just going to tear the ball out of your hands and put it right in the back of the net. But the Tyrants have been pretty good with pressure control in this game in comparison, obviously, to the first two. But again, we can just kind of try to forget about those as much as we can, but still, you can't forget about the 2-0 scoreline in the series, because the Dodgers still have a huge mountain to overcome. You see now they're looking a lot fresher. This game's still scoreless as we pass the 2.5 minute mark, and now 3.5 minute mark approaching. Sneak out of their side, trying to just go through neutral, has Walsh the interception. Another pinch off the left wall, maybe trying to try the backboard out. Another teammate will be there for the midfield. It's Ski maybe trying to dump this one down, but Sneak able to cover the net yet again. The bump, the demo, and net from Ski. Gonna give Toasty a chance.
Wow.
Plenty of space to work with. The demo started it off, and the Dodgers will strike first.
They absolutely did strike first, and a good goal here. I think Jelly was probably getting a little bit low on boost, and that is because the Dodgers were doing what you talked about earlier. They're just going around and keeping that pressure on. That's going to drain the boost, and that's just going to make it really hard for the Tyrants. So let's see, do they get down, or do they get up and rise to the challenge?
Jelly midfield to Nim. Is going to try and find a powerful touch, but it's just a bit too weak. still needing some more pressure. They're definitely going to need to hit these balls just a little bit harder than they have been, because otherwise the Dodgers will just see this ball just racing right back towards them and just catch it and run, because that's what they've been doing the entire series so far. Nim's going to try and help their teammate. Jelly didn't have much boost in the net, but Sneak, good coverage, recognizing the comms in the net that they weren't able to get there as much as they would have liked. Toasty McRosie can't quite find the angle as Jelly to the midfield. There's a touch, but Walsh, good coverage on defenses. That was a quick look for the Tyrants, much needed here, but still no goals.
Jelly has been looking good and definitely trying to put that ball on net and score with it. Ski some more really good backboard defense, and Toasty McRoasty stopping that goal from going in. But Jelly's got the ball, puts it up, comes straight down in a waterfall, sneaks there, but not quite high enough. And man, the Tyrants are trying hard, but the Dodgers just doing an exceptional job of keeping them on their heels.
Dodgers trying to find one for the road. They'll get just that. 1 second to go. We'll go ahead and call it there for game 3. It'll be a series point situation for the Tyrants, the 1 seed facing elimination. It's the Dodgers continuing their pressure as much as they want to. 18 straight goals for the Dodgers. The Tyrants have not even seen the net this entire series.
That is absolutely unreal to me, to see 3 straight shutouts against the number 1 seed team that obviously has some great players. And look, I mean, here we see 6 shots for the Tyrants. That's more than they had in the last 2 games. So they're definitely at least trying, right? They're being more offensive. They're definitely trying. But the real story, the Dodgers, 10 shots, they get 2 of them in. And I mean, honestly, they are a well-oiled and well-running machine right now.
I would absolutely agree with that. I mean, there's no other explanation of how the Dodgers are playing other than insane. I mean, it's genuinely crazy. I mean, last game they had 10 goals on 12 shots. I mean, it's absolutely unbelievable. Their shot accuracy is crazy this game. I mean, they had 10 shots, 2 goals. I mean, the Tyrants are able to stop a lot on defense in comparison to the first couple of games, which is a very good sign. But at this point, you're down 3 games in a best of 7. You have to win out from here. And not scoring any goals out of 15 minutes of Rocket League is very alarming. I don't know if they can do it, but I think if they can take a game here, I think they have obviously the best chance at staying alive, because they have to win to stay alive at this point. But you know what I mean? If they can get the momentum, instead of losing 10-0, they lost 2-0. It's definitely a lot better, a big change for them. Let's see if they can take a game here.
Well, I certainly hope that they can. I don't love to watch 4-0s. I like to see it a little bit more competitive than that. I think Jelly has definitely added something good to the chemistry that's going on here, but they're going to have to make sure that they can continue to apply pressure. So you know what? They're going to have to stay in the other end, use pennies, get used to it. Don't be too far back. Don't go any further ahead than that midline unless you think it's going to get boomed back. Like, just keep at it, because what they were doing in the last game until that first goal really was working, because they honestly, I thought they had better opportunities than the Dodgers did.
Yeah, that makes 2 games out of 3 now that the Tyrants have shown really good offense to start the game. Let's try and make it 3.
Wow,
that was a good
nice
chance.
try.
But a fantastic save again from Ski in the net. The Dodgers just continuing their presence. A big demo, though, for Jelly's going to give him a chance, but Ski at the back rotation, that just swift, they're just able to scoop up the ball when it's in a dangerous spot. The Dodgers just not allowing anything to go through, literally not allowing anything. There's another chance, able to get an outlet clear. Sneak trying to find the post, trying to find a goal. But again, the Dodgers defense is just way too strong.
Oh man, like, in that first game, really the Tyrants put very little onto the net. And then in the second game, obviously, the Tyrants put very little onto the net. But in the last game, the Dodgers showed they're not just an offensive team, but that they've got the moxie to absolutely win, because not only are they good at offense, but holy crap, they're good at defense too. So you know what? Oh, this is an opportunity here. Oh, put off the crossbar, and I can't believe it.
Oh my goodness, the Tyrants, come on, you have to put something in the net here. You're on series point, down 3-0 in the series. I mean, that is probably the best look you're gonna get at an open net, that the Dodgers are gonna allow the double jump in the net, open it up for Walsh. Dodgers will start. We'll start it with a goal.
Yeah, you betcha the Dodgers will. And you know what? Walsh says, you can go high if you want. I'm just going to put this under you, and that's exactly what happens. I mean, Walsh is a goal scorer. That is exactly what he's done. Also made some great saves, but I mean, the majority of the goals here have been scored by Walsh. So, yeah, just kind of knows how to do it, knows how to read things.
Ski to the back wall. The Tyrants still alive. 3 minutes to go. They have to put something in the net to stay alive here. Sneak, maybe a clear. That touch is going to be a bit light. Ski, plenty of space to work with to allow Toasty to take over in the midair. Jelly corner. Maybe has a man to the middle. Sneak is just a bit too far out the front post, but they're able to reel it back in and make this thing work. Sneak past one. Can't get it past Walsh. It's going to be dangerous for the Tyrants defense. Now Ski that bump, the demo to turn them back around to take another shot on net. Toasty, another one, but Nim will have it back to the right side and another chance for a counterattack for the Tyrants. Maybe a midfield pass. It's going to be Jelly and Sneak, but a little bit of stacking. They're going to have to clear that up. Otherwise, the Dodgers will continue to hold the pressure on to this Tyrants defense.
Well, they're not going to be able to get another goal if they continue to make those little mistakes like that. And that stack, that is a little mistake. Normally, it's not going to lose you the game, but against a team that is making very few mistakes, you just can't afford to be there. Nim, unfortunately, with a backflip, but Sneak's going to keep that ball in. Ski sends it off into their corner, a good move, and Jelly, as he's trying to rotate out, actually hits that ball back towards their zone. Jelly with a nice little save here, but again, the Dodgers are applying pressure, and they're really, really not having to pay for their overcommits and other things like that.
Yeah, and that's kind of what the majority of competitive Rocket League comes down to, is forcing teams to pay for their mistakes and just basically exploiting off of those mistakes that teams make. And I think the Dodgers obviously just been the better team at doing that tonight, because the Tyrants, I would say, are about 0 for 20 as far as the paying for mistakes number goes, but there's a chance. Ski trying to make it happen. Nim will have a clear to diffuse the pressure. Again, Toasty McRoasty trying to keep this one in. Maybe here's a chance for Jelly and the Tyrants offense. Maybe another one, huge 50 back to the midfield. Toasty there to chase it down. Nim a bit slow on the back rotation, but still is able to get it past the attacker of the Dodgers. Maybe another one. Here's Sneak, big 50 midfield. We'll have Jelly set up to the left side, maybe trying to find a teammate to the midfield, but again, good clear for Walsh. Still 1-0 scoreline, and this one, it was 1-0 till very late in the game, in the last game, Maple. So we'll see if the Tyrants can hold on to this one. 40 seconds left in the life of the Tyrants. They're going to need something here, but it just seems like they're still just trying to stay complacent with the ball not being in their own net.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I think their goal now is let's not get scored on, and their goal needs to be, holy crap, we better score on the other team. And I think that in and of itself, like that whole way of thinking is what's important, right? So Nim is going to put that ball, try and keep it in, but he just gives it away. Now he gets lucky because Ski is not able to get it. Sneak tries to push it through, but Walsh able to keep it out. Nim's going to keep that in, but Toasty McRoasty going to put that on net, and whoa, Jelly able to keep it out, but that is the game. Wow. 4 shutout games. No goals, no responses, no answers. 20 minutes with no goals.
And 20 goals. 20-0 scoreline in favor of the Dodgers. Just not the way you want to see a series such as the conference final go. It was definitely a fun series to watch for the Dodgers, but if you're a fan of the Tyrants, that's just one you want to move on from and hope this VOD doesn't get saved. Unfortunately, guys, I'm sorry, it will. But again, it's just a learning moment from teams at this point. The 4 players involved for the Dodgers, it's a fantastic moment to move on from. It's as a player, you kind of have to have those experiences sometimes to be able to advance in your career as a Rocket League player. So that's definitely going to be one that they don't want to look back on, but need to look back on as far as the mental aspect of it goes, because that's not an easy one to drop. But again, congratulations to the Dodgers. They will move on in striking fashion to the grand finals, and that's 3 teams, another 3 teams that have made the grand final tonight. What else can we ask for? Fantastic night of Rocket League. Yeah, what great play we've had tonight in PL, CL, and AL. We have seen some phenomenal play by everybody who was involved in Pandy. It has been my absolute pleasure to cast with you, buddy. You are phenomenal, and I was just excited to be here with you, my man. Yeah, I always love seeing you back, Maple. It's first time casting together. Hopefully it's not our last, as this was an absolute blast of a series to be with you. But folks, if you saw anything crazy tonight, you're more than welcome to go back into the VOD and do !POTW in the live chat when we're not even on stream, or now if you want to clip and submit a shot that you think is eligible to win a case of Balls Corona for Play of the Week live on OpenNet every Wednesday. Also, if you want to buy some MLE merch to represent your franchise or the league in general, !Pro line in chat for that as well, and you can get some fantastic quality merchandise made by Guardian Pro line. That stuff is beautiful. It is just fantastic quality, and just go there if you just want to support your franchise. But that's about all we got for you guys tonight. And again, 3 new teams back into the grand finals, 3 wonderful matchups, and we got 3 more tomorrow. Maple, I don't think I'll see you. I don't think I'm on as well, but I hope to see you guys tomorrow night. We'll start at 8 p.m. Central, or 8 p.m. Eastern, excuse me. 3 matchups. We'll see you tomorrow.